Welcome back to Amaya. Last session we discussed about Python programming, what language is Python written in, Python applications, where is Python used, installation procedures, idle development environment using in Python, features of Python, syntax rules, compilation and interpretation in Python, and reserved keywords using in Python. Okay. Today we are going to see Python Fundamentals Session 2. I am going to share my screen. Python Fundamentals Session 2. Okay, today we are going to discuss some interesting topics. First one is interacting with Python programs. Okay. Python program communicates its results to user using print statement. In Python, we are using print statement. Print is one of the keyword using in Python programming to print the statements, to print the values in a variables, to print the functions, and so on. Okay, so print is an important keyword using in Python to print the statements, functions, variables, values, so on. Most useful programs require information from users, name and age for a travel reservation system. Okay, suppose I am going to do a project called travel reservation system. So first of all, I am going to collect some basic information regarding travel reservation. For example, date of journey, passenger name, then for which place I am going to travel. So boarding point. So how many members are going to travel? So all those things I'm going to gather and I'm going to create a variable for the travel reservation system. Okay, so once I planned, I'm going to fix the variables and I'm going to assign those variables for corresponding values. Then I'm going to create a project called a travel reservation system. Okay. Python 3 uses input to read user input as a string. Okay. So normally we are using data types like integer, float, character, string. Okay. So in Python 3 is nothing but Python version 3 uses input. Input is the predefined keyword using in Python to get input from the user. Suppose I'm going to get input the value as a passenger name or date of journey or how many members. I'm using this input directly from the user and getting information from the user to save the records in the database. Okay, so here input is the keyword using to get information from the user. Okay, what is the exact difference between Python 2 versus Python 3? Python 2 versus Python 3. 2 is nothing but version, 3 is also version. Okay, but there are some similar changes are available between Python 2 and Python 3. Some updations are available in Python 3 compared to Python 2. In most of the programming languages, whenever a new version releases, it supports the features and syntax of the existing version of the language. Therefore, it is easier for the projects to switch in the newer version. Okay. So once Python 2 is released, this is GNU, General Public License. So everyone can use Python programming. While using the programs, there are some ideas there are some mistakes, or there are some implementations, we find it. Okay, so we have to intimate those things to the team. The team will discover and make the things and correct all those things and introduce it as a new version. I mean, named as Python 3 or Python 4. They release the new version to the public. So compared to this version to the old version, definitely there is some changes. So what are all the basic changes available in Python 2 versus Python 3? Python 2 uses print as a statement and used as print something to print some string on the console. On the other hand, Python 3 uses print as a function and used as print in parenthesis to print something on the console. Okay, so compared to Python 2 versus Python 3, in Python 3 we are using parenthesis in using print statement. Okay, second one is Python 2 uses the function raw underscore input to accept the user's input. We are using Python 3 um, print parenthesis, you can give some statements to execute the print statement. But in Python 2, we are using raw underscore input. Okay, so this is the basic difference between getting input from the user. It returns the string representing the value which is typed by the user. To convert it into the integer, we need to use the integer function in Python. On the other hand, Python 3 uses input function which automatically interpreted the type of input entered by the user. So this is the basic difference for Python 2 versus Python 3 while comparing or data converting the variables and values. However, we can cast this value to any type by using primitive functions, integer, string, etc. Okay. So compared to Python 2 versus Python 3, the major differences are available. We have to update from raw input to input in Python 3. So this is the basic thing. In Python 2, the implicit string type is ASCII. ASCII is nothing but American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Whereas in Python 3, the implicit string type is Unicode. Okay, so the type of implicit string in Python 2 is ASCII, whereas in Python 3, we are using Unicode. Okay. Python 3 does not contain the xrange function of Python 2. The xrange is the variant of range function which returns a xrange object that works similar to Java iterator. The range returns a list. For example, the function range 0, 3 contains 0, 1, 2. Okay, in Python, there are 4 special data types are available: list, tuple, dictionary, and sets. Okay, we are using range function to increment the values from 0 to 3. Okay, so range is a predefined function using in Python. There is also a small change made in exception handling in Python 3. It defines a keyword as which is necessary to be used. Okay, so later we are going to see exception handling. So in exception handling, there are two concepts are available: try and except in Python. In Java, we are using try and catch. We have to implement some code in try. Suppose if there are some errors are occurring in that part, so automatically the catch keyword will caught the exception and remove the exception or error, then it gives the result. So similarly, in Python 3 also, we are using try and except statement. Okay. So input. Okay. Now I am going to give as input. Take as argument a string to print as a prompt. Prompt is nothing but like an alert box. Returns the user typed value as a string, details of how to process user string letter. Okay. Okay. So here there is an example. Here age is a variable name. Raw underscore input. Suppose I'm using Python 2 version, I'm using the keyword raw underscore input. Okay. In parentheses, I'm giving the statement called how old are you? Okay. So In Python, the question asks, how old are you? I'm giving as 35. Okay, so I'm going to print this statement with concatenation. Concatenation is nothing but string as well as variable name. Okay, so here print is the keyword. In parentheses, I am giving you or as a string. Then concat, I'm using the operator comma. Then I'm giving a variable name because I stored the value 35 in the variable age. So I'm giving the variable name here. Then again I'm concatenate. Then I'm giving years old as a string. So the result was you are 35 years old. Okay. Then type of age. So I'm assigning a variable name as age. So what type is this? So we can call it as string. So str is nothing but string. Wait a minute, I'm going to execute this statement in an idle environment. Python basic syntax, interactive mode programming. So in idle or in a console, you can directly give the statement as a print hello Python, or you can make some calculations 3 plus 4 into 5, or you can subtract some values, or you can assign a variable with a value, then you have to calculate the variables. You got the result. Okay, so interactive mode program is nothing but you can give the statements directly on your interpreter. Okay, Python identifiers. A Python identifier is a name used to identify a variable, function, class, module, or other object. An identifier start with a letter, capital A to capital Z, or small a to small z, or an underscore, followed by zero or more letters, underscores, and digits. Okay, identifiers is nothing but what is the procedure you are going to declare your variable. So we can call it as identifier. In any programming languages, there is an identifier. In Python, an identifier starts with a letter capital A to capital Z or small a to small z. You can start with a variable, even an underscore. Okay, underscore value one, underscore value underscore a1. So you can give like that. Okay, followed by zero or more letters, underscores, and digits. Python does not allow punctuation characters such as this is nothing but special symbols at dollar sign and percentage within identifiers. Python is a case-sensitive programming language. Thus, manpower and manpower are two different identifiers in Python. Okay, so Python is a case sensitive. Case sensitive is nothing but here you saw manpower. The meaning of the manpower is same, but the declaration, initialization is different because in first manpower, the M is in capital letter. In second one is all in lowercase letters. So the difference between these two, Python understood these two words are different. Okay, so we can call it as case sensitive programming language. Okay. Here are following identifier naming conventions for Python. Class names start with an uppercase letter and all other identifiers with a lowercase letter. Actually, this is the good example to continue your programming model. I mean, programming code. You can practice like this. So once you declare a variable or once you declare your class name, you can start with the uppercase letter, then you continue with the lowercase letters. Starting an identifier with a single leading underscore indicates by convention that the identifier is meant to be protected. Yeah. Later we discussed about access modifiers. So there are three things: public, private, and protected. Okay, but in Python we are using only in signs, not in words. Okay, so here I am giving underscore a equal to 10. This is nothing but protected. Okay. Starting an identifier with the two leading underscores indicates a strong private identifier. Suppose I am giving two underscores, then I declare the variable name as A and assigning the value as 10. So we can call it as private identifier. Okay, if the identifier also ends with the two trailing underscores, the identifier is a language defined special name. Okay, so these are all the things we are using in Python languages. Then how to declare a variable name. What are all the signs we are using in variable name? So there is a different meaning. There is a different object involved in that variable. Okay. So lines and indentations. Okay. Compared to other programming languages, we are using braces in any code. Any code. We are using braces in C, C++, Java, .NET. We are using braces in any programming languages, but in Python we are using indentations. Indentation is very important. Suppose the indentation is not in a position, you got an error message. Okay. One of the first caveats programmers encounter when learning Python is the fact there are no braces to indicate blocks of code for class and function definitions or flow control. Blocks of code are denoted by line indentation, which is rigidly enforced. Okay, so the number of spaces in the indentation is variable, but all statements within the block must be indented the same amount. But both blocks in this example are fine. Okay, here you saw if there is a condition, if another condition is else. Okay, so I'm giving a colon. Okay, I'm giving colon, then I put enter. Again, I'm going to print some statement called answer. Then in next line, I'm going to print a statement called true. Okay. So here you saw the indentation. Indentation is nothing but you can give some space between the condition and the statement. Okay. So, okay, semicolon is not necessary. You can give without semicolon for the statements. Okay, so multi-line statements. Statements in Python typically end with a new line. Python does, however, allow the use of the line continuation character to denote that the line should continue. Okay, once you can declare the variable name as total, and you can add three variables like item underscore one plus slash in next line item underscore two plus slash item underscore three. So you can give the variable name with the help of multi-line statements. So this is nothing but the lines are continuing one by one. Statements contained within the square brackets, braces, or parentheses do not need to use the line continuation character. Okay, suppose you are using a list, you are going to print the values in list, or you are going to print the values in tuple or dictionary or sets. So we are maintaining brackets or braces or parentheses. On that situation, we are not continued this multi-line statements. Quotation in Python. Python accepts single, double, and triple quotes to denote string literals as long as the same type of quote starts and ends the string. The triple quotes can be used to span the string across multiple lines. For example, all the following are legal. Okay, so quotation is nothing but you can give the statement. Suppose you are going to print a statement, hello, welcome to Python programming. On that situation, you can use a single quotes. Okay, or you can use a double quotes. Okay, for example, for multi-lines, you can see the paragraph. Paragraph is a variable. You can give some statement as in two or more lines. You can use the triple quotes. Okay, so quotation is nothing but most of the programmers using single quotes for using the print statement. Okay, so commands is an important thing in any programming languages because you can comment the particular line to execute the code. This is very useful for breaking the lines, and also this is the label. This is the label for every line to continue. Suppose in an existing project, as a fresher, came, the project manager gave existing project. So in that existing project, the programmers mentioned some comments related to the lines. So what does this line do? So the fresher will understood. Okay. So comments is very important. So another thing is we are going to comment the lines for from 2 to 20 or 2 to 5. So suppose you comment the lines, the program code does not run. Okay. So this is the procedure for using command. In Python, we are using hash. Hash symbol we are using for command. Start commands with the hash, the rest of line is ignored. Can include a documentation string as the first line of a new function or class to define. Development environments, debugger and other tools use it. It's a good style to include one. Okay, here you saw there is a function called fact. So there is a single argument called n. I'm using the command fact n assumes n is a positive integer and returns factorial of n. I'm using the multi-line command. I'm using the multi-line command in the function. So actually this line does not compile. I mean, this is nothing but this is just like a label. Okay, so after that, the remaining things are done. Okay, so for this situation, we are using comments. Okay, so next we move on to assignment. Binding a variable in Python means setting a name to hold a reference to some object. Assignment creates references, not copies. So assignment is nothing but you can assign a value to a variable. Okay, this is one of the assignment. Names in Python do not have an intrinsic type, objects have types. Python determines the type of the reference automatically based on what data is assigned to. You create a name the first time it appears on the left side of an assignment of expression. Okay, here in left hand side, I'm going to assign a variable name called x. In the right hand side, I'm going to assign the value as 3. A reference is deleted through garbage collection after any names bound to it have passed out of scope. Python uses a reference semantics. Okay, so assignment is we are using assignment operator in Python. In operators, we are going to see assignment operator. Okay, so naming rules. Okay, so this is one of the identifier. Names are case sensitive. Okay, and it cannot start with a number. So this is the rule in Python. You can't start a variable name as a number. They can contain letters, numbers, and underscores. Okay, so the given words are using as variables. Okay, so, first I'm using BOB as in small letter. Next one is first B in capital letter. Third variable name is I'm using as underscore in the beginning. Then I'm going to use an underscore, then 2. You can't give 2 in the first character because we can't you start with a number. Okay, once you use the underscore, then again you can use the number. Then BOB underscore 2, BOB. So these are the right type of words used in variables. There are some reserved keywords. So last lesson also I am discussed with this. Okay, there are more keywords are available. These keywords are using in different situations in Python, like decision making loop, loop control, then Python data types, then decision making, then exception handling. So like that. Okay, so okay, everyone have to know what is Python, then what are all the things available, then how to install Python. Okay, then what are all the identifiers, how how you declare a variable name. So what are all the procedures are available. Okay, so okay, so this is the thing you have to learn. Then only you have to survive in your Python industry. Okay, so once everyone is ready to learn, you can contact this link www.amiacloud.in. Okay, thank you very much.